On the edge of Selkirk Park, far from any open water, sits a fleet that once connected Manitoba's most remote communities. These ships carried freight, families, fishers, and stories across Lake Winnipeg and the Red River. Today, they rest on land, preserved as a reminder of a time when water was the province's highway. Her name was the Keenora. In 1897, she was born on Lake of the Woods, built for one job: to reach the places nobody else could. For years, she carried passengers and cargo to isolated communities as far as Rainy River. When the railway finally arrived, it should have been the end for her. Instead, in 1917, workers took her apart board by board, loaded her onto flat cars, and hauled her hundreds of kilometers to Winnipeg. There, she was rebuilt bigger, stretched to 158 feet, fitted with 65 cabins. And for one wild season, she wasn't even a ship at all. She was a dance hall, floating on the Red River, with downtown Winnipeg dancing on her deck. For decades after, the Keenora was the highway. Before there was pavement, there was her wake. She carried mail that families waited weeks for, medicine that couldn't wait at all, freight, furniture, the ordinary and the urgent, north from Winnipeg to Warren Landing, the far edge of Lake Winnipeg. From there, the water grew too shallow and too narrow for a ship her size, so smaller boats carried people the rest of the way to Norway House. Every trip was a relay of trust, one boat handing off to the next, one community reaching for another. Try to imagine that today, standing on a dock, waiting for the one ship that will bring the mail, the medicine, the news from the outside world. For northern Manitoba, that wasn't history. That was a Tuesday. By the 1960s, new regulations and new roads caught up to her. The Keenora's engines went quiet. In 1966, she was left in the Selkirk Slough to rot. Another ship, it seemed, headed for the scrapyard of memory. But Selkirk didn't let her go. In 1972, 20 local businessmen, no government grant, no corporate sponsor, just 20 people who couldn't stand to watch her disappear, bought the ship outright. The following summer, volunteers hauled her from the Red River and dragged her on her own keel across dry land into Selkirk Park, a ship sailing through grass. It might be the strangest voyage she ever took, and it saved her life. On August 1st, 1973, her doors opened again, restored to the way she looked in the 1920s, not as a working ship anymore, as a promise kept. That rescue lit something bigger. In 1974, the Marine Museum of Manitoba opened its doors, built to hold on to more than just one ship's story. Today it stands as the only marine museum in a province with no ocean, landlocked and still somehow full of ships. The Keenora isn't alone out there. The Bradbury, built in 1915, broke ice so other ships could move through winter. The Chickamauga, launched in 1942, went where even the Keenora couldn't, into the shallow, narrow water up north. The Lady Canadian carried passengers, then fish, then instruments, surveying for Manitoba Hydro long after her passenger days had ended. And the Joe Simpson, built in 1963, kept supplying the North years after the others had already gone quiet. 4 ships, 4 different jobs, one shared purpose: Keep the North connected, whatever it took. It's easy to look at these hulls in the grass and see only rust and old paint. But before the highways, before the internet, before same-day delivery, these were the only lifelines some communities had. Every one of us who's ever waited on a package, worried about getting medicine to a parent, or driven north for a weekend without a second thought. We're living in the world these ships built. The roads came because the water proved the route first. Today, the ships of Selkirk rest quietly on the grass, long removed from the waters they once ruled. No engines turning, no horns sounding across the lake, just old hulls, old wood, and the wind moving through where a wake used to be. But from above, their stories rise again, echoes of the people, the journeys, and the waterways that helped shape Manitoba. Every plank of the Keenora, every scar on her hull, carries someone's crossing, a delivery that mattered, a homecoming, a goodbye. This is the forgotten fleet of Selkirk, a hidden gem if you know where to look. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more stories from Manitoba's hidden gems and untold stories.